Culture can certainly be thought of in terms of art, and early man has left a wealth of it.
One of the most striking things, about 35,000 years ago, suddenly art appears on the walls of caves as carved bone objects, carved stone, the famous naked female figurines called Venuses, which date throughout Central and Western Europe to about 30,000 years ago. Cave paintings of great exquisiteness of extinct animals which are no longer in Europe today, bison, woolly rhinoceros, mammoth, lions, lionesses, all these animals, and then engraved on the cave walls, using the chisels used for carving up bone, and also using brushes made of fiber. Very simple technology, but a technology which also was well aware of the properties of different pigments and so on, so that they painted astoundingly beautiful material.
Even the very earliest art that we see, that at Chauvet Cave in France, for example, is just as beautiful as the art at Lascaux, except there's at least 10,000 years between the two. So the earliest artists were at least as good as the later artists. So artistic representation is something that seems to be deep within us. It seems to be something that is expressed if the opportunity is there. The earliest art seems often to be almost sacred. Some of the earliest images are deep inside caves. They're very hidden. It's not possible to get to them accidentally. One must know the route.
But why did they do it? We don't really know, but a lot of archaeologists believe that these people had a very close and intimate knowledge of their environment, and they considered the animals equals and partners and living things in their world. And their living world and their religious world were completely meshed like this. And one of the reasons they painted perhaps on the caves was that they drew power from the animals by touching them, the power of the animals being behind the cave walls.
This is probably the most famous, most widely recognized prehistoric art. It comes from a cave in Lascaux, southwestern France. As we learn about early modern humans' perception and creativity, we shouldn't be surprised at their ability to create works of art such as this. And yet, we are surprised. These paintings are true works of art, done by very talented people, and they had a sacred meaning to them.
The animals they saw in visions. There's a lot of research being done on this. But there's no question that this art had a deep spiritual value to people who depended on their survival on an extraordinary range of animals, large and small.
They were using natural media to paint. Charcoal, often mixed with animal fat, is one of the common tools that they used. They also used native earth. Ochre is a clay. It comes in a number of different colors, reds, oranges, yellows, and again mixed with animal fat would give color to the paintings.
They started doing it at a time when there had been enormous changes in the human form. Because these people of 35,000 years ago, not only anatomically similar to us, they had the same intellectual potential as we had. They thought, they loved, they hated, they were lazy, they were busy. They lived and behaved mentally the same way we do.
Representations of hands are very common in cave art, and they can be done with spitting pigment around the outline of the hand. In other cases, they simply drew, like children will do, around the individual fingers. One of the things that is interesting about many of the hand imprints in the cave art is that some of the fingers seem to be too short. Some of the fingers may have been amputated. We know that finger amputation is a very common behavior among modern humans. It's done very often in funeral proceedings. When someone has died, often a digit is cut off. It can be the death of a chief, it can be the death of a child, but often part of a finger is cut off and buried with the deceased individual.